There we go. Okay, we are live. We're live. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the expert interview series. My name is Lisa Mizels and I'm your host today. I'm your host of the show always. And well, anyway, from the past, since we started, I've been your host. I'm an online visibility strategist and I help women who are leading change to really get visible and create a good foundation for their business so they can have a web presence online. And today I'm really excited because we have someone special in the house right now. And her name is Pam Reyes. Did I say that right, Reyes?
That's it.
Okay. Now, Pam and I have spoken in the past, and she's amazing. You're going to really love what she has to say. And I want to tell you a little bit about her. But before I do, I want to know where you're listening from. Where are you? Are you in the US? Are you in the States? What's the weather like? Let us know a little bit about you in the comment section. And also give us some hearts or some thumbs up or funny gifts or whatever your flavor is. I love to see, different personalities and like my page. That would be amazing. And I want to get started with you so you can get Pam's insights onto, a tip or a strategy that's actually going to help you expand your business. And that's what this this expert interview series is all about. It's bringing on guests that are experts in the online visibility, online business, marketing, professional, world. And they give you one tip or strategy that's going to move you forward just, slightly in bite-sized pieces, because it's not the information that we need, it's the implementation that's actually what gets us to the next step. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Pam. So Pam's an expert at working with professionals to identify their true talents and build them into strengths. Then align what they do with who they are so their life begins to flow, allowing them to be the best contributor to their work, family, and community. I love the way you say this. Amazing. Pam spent more than 20 years in corporate America in various international leadership roles, working with Fortune 500 companies such as Sun Microsystems, Hitachi Data Systems, Accenture, is that how you say? Accenture EDS, traveling regularly within the US, Japan, and South America. She understands all too well what it's like to strive to lead, achieve, and at times feel overwhelmed and undervalued. After years of corporate and societal pressures to be and act a certain way, to fit in, she began to lose touch with who she really was and what her greatest strengths were. And I think that a lot of you can probably relate to this. I know I can. This and having experienced a major life transition led Pam to question her priorities and ultimately decide to rediscover her true talents and create the life she desired. That was the catalyst that drove her to follow her true calling and inspire others to do the same. Pam coaches, mentors, and teaches professionals to unleash their greatest potential, believing so many people lose touch with who they really are and what they're good at. Pam's an expert at identifying, focusing on, and then maximizing a person's true talents so they lead from a position of strength and live their life on purpose, not by accident. And I asked Pam what she stands for, and this is what she said. She said, I want people to know the value of who they are so they stop proving their self-worth by pretending to be someone that they're not. And I love that, Pam. I just love that. And I think that's so powerful. And I think your bio's amazing. Yeah. And it really talks about, well, it makes you shine, but it also talks about some of the things that I think a lot of us deal with, right?
Oh, without question. It came from the fact that it's so funny because people always say, well, I want to fit in. And I go, okay, do you really want to fit in? Because what fitting in means, and I used to be a master at this, assessing the situation and then changing who I was to actually fit in. Instead, we all really, in human nature, we want to belong.
Mhm.
We want to belong. So the difference between fitting in and belonging is fitting in is changing who you are
Yeah.
to be accepted, and belonging is having people accept you for who you are, which, oh my gosh, changed my world
Yes.
because I was, as you had read, I was 20 plus years in corporate America. And at the time, came out of college and was taught, go and get a job, get a job, make the money, do basically it's do. And I did for many,
Yeah.
many years
Mhm.
until after a while I was striving, improving, and moving, really finding that I was chasing the title and the money because that's what I was taught. Go after the title and the money.
Yeah.
Until such time as I got to that level, I had international travel, I had fancy vacations, I had the cars, the homes, and everything, and just went, is this it?
Mhm.
And then what happened was is that I had created a public persona that was different from my personal. Never shall the two meet is what I was taught. And I looked at that and I went, oh crap. How
Yeah.
do I unravel that? Because that's not me. That
Yeah.
was somebody I was pretending to be.
Yeah.
And it got so heavy and I got really tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like me. I mean, it sounds like what I've been through. And I think we were taught, go to school, become professional, become somebody, identify, and we identify with the role that we play,
Oh, yes.
whatever role it is. So if I'm a mom, I'm this way. If I'm a wife, I'm this way. If I'm a professional, I'm this way. And like you said, they don't match.
It's so interesting because it's almost like we have an identity crisis because we identify who we are as what we do. When, as you just said, I'm a mom, I'm a spouse, I'm a a leader, I'm a soccer mom, a football mom, whatever it may be. And here's the interesting thing, Lisa, is those roles come and go in our life, and then we're left with who we are.
Yeah.
That's
That's when
what
you
I
feel
think.
empty, right? That's when,
Value of who you are as a whole, and then align what you do with who you are. And it's so eye-opening for me because I had gone through that probably 10 years ago, and being on the other side is like, oh my gosh, it's so liberating and just transforming when you find out who it is you are at the core and not always tying it to what you do. Yeah. Amazing.
yeah, I mean, that's it. And I think a lot of women are waking up to that, and trying to release those chains, the box, or whatever you call it, because the leash, like you say, you unleash, because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're trapped, and it does create an identity crisis. I'm so glad you're talking about that. It's really important. And I know a lot of people that come online, women suffer from that because they've been a something before.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, who am I now? And if I don't do the same thing that I have always done, what does that mean? Am I not worth anything? So
Yeah.
that value piece is huge, huge, huge. So how do you help your the people, you were talking to me, we were talking off screen, about, you were working with professionals facilitating some workshops recently. What do you do with them? Do you do this piece with them? Do you help them like find their talents and
Yeah, we really do. I've been blessed with an opportunity to contract with a global client. So they have us going all over from Germany to Singapore and throughout the US, training about 1,500 of their leaders. And the thing I love about this, Lisa, is because having been in corporate America, there wasn't a lot of focus when I was in there about personal development.
yeah.
And this one client is, I love it, and I love to see more of them do this, is they know they're investing in their people from a personal perspective because they really truly believe that leadership starts with who you are,
Mm.
not what you do. So through all of that, what we're helping them to uncover, because each and every one of us has a way we naturally think, feel, and behave, which is our natural gifts and talents. So we do some assessments on that. And then the other one is we all have our natural ways in which we communicate. And this is the work that I love to do, because what happens is and I've seen this every single time I facilitate, which is pretty much on a monthly basis, where they take an assessment and they get a very detailed personal report that tells them who they are, the way they actually naturally communicate. Most often they see it and they go, oh, no, this isn't me. They're resisting it right away because they're playing a certain role. And I love to see that when we walk them through and say, okay, you're either a dominant style or you're an influencer and you have your fast pace or your slower pace, when we walk them through that, I see their entire demeanor change from resisting like this to go, oh, this
that feels
me.
Good. Yeah, that feels good.
And then literally they said, that is me. And I have been playing that role, which is completely opposite to them, for so long. You mean I don't have to do that anymore? Tears in their eyes. Like these are leaders who have been 25 to 35 year tenure, have never taken the time before to know who they are. And that's why this company is giving their leaders a gift.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, this is all about you right now. And when you get you right, your team is going to be right.
So important.
Yeah.
So important. And I know there's some companies out there, like, tech companies are kind of known for that because they really, want their people to be happy. They want them to, they've got it down, like they've got the retention down. They've got, they know what to do. So that's great. And it's good to see more companies doing that because we are the value. It's not our role. It's not our position. It's not, it's like you were saying. So that's amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your special strategy that you have, which is a very simple strategy, but it's so important. And it really is kind of that anchor piece, right, that people don't think about. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first and foremost, when I work with a lot of people, it really comes down to having a vision for your life. And as I mentioned offline, I got a phone call from a former colleague of mine that we used to work many, many years, and they've been in corporations for a long time. And I asked that question is, okay, so tell me a little bit about your life and what has made you who you are today. And their answer was, I don't even know. Mm-hmm. Because what happened was that we're going through life. We're going so fast. We're going through the motions. So it's really slowing down to be able to move faster in the right direction. And when I say slow down, is literally take that time to look inward, to say, what is it that I want for my life? What do I want? And not just what do I want, like the cars and the home and all that kind of stuff, is what do I want my life to look like? And why do I want it? It's not good enough to just say, what do you want? Because people will put this wish list, right? Mm-hmm. There has to be emotion tied to it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So really the very first thing is have a vision for your life. And a lot of the times we can't necessarily do that ourselves. And it takes a facilitated conversation, because when we're so busy doing our life so long, it takes a while to peel back the layers of defense that we have and to be able to penetrate and move. And this is what I always say is, we're not going to have a transactional conversation. A transactional conversation is very heady. But I say, let's drop 18 inches and connect with our heart And that's when the layers are going to start coming away. And that's a transformational conversation that allows them to then connect with what's really in their heart. What makes your heart sing?
Yes. Yeah. How do you want to feel in your life? Who do you want to become? Like what is your life about? If you could dream about anything, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of
You
people
gave me the chills, because that, when we're on the same wavelength, it's who do you want to become? Because it's about being and not doing. And that's so counterintuitive to society, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it's interesting. When I first, came online, I remember thinking, I don't want to, like, there was this shift happening and I didn't really even realize it, but it's like, I don't want to teach anymore. I don't want to remember things. I want to share. I want to share from my heart. And I didn't really even know what that meant at that time because I was a teacher trainer, right? I mean, that's kind of, I mentored and taught and trained. And so it was interesting because now I understand what I was wanting. I was just wanting to be me and
Be, and let that be. Oh my gosh. And you said that I was a teacher trainer. Same thing for me. And I get the teachy preachy because I get the teachy preachy. And then it's like, no, because here's the magic and the beauty comes from having an unscripted conversation. Okay, full transparency here for the audience. I was like emailing Lisa yesterday going, okay, what are we going to talk about? What do we need to prepare? So thank you. That is a huge gift, because I even have said, I just want to be me and have that be enough and more than enough. And that's what I talk about, is like the value of who you are, because the magic is in the moment, because we're all intuitive. And when we make that connection from our hearts and have that heart to heart conversation, and we're being real and we're being vulnerable and we're being unscripted, is magic. And that's when people can resonate. And that's when not everyone, that's when a lot of people get the gold.
yeah, absolutely. It's funny that you just enunciated unscripted. There's a ebook that I've been writing with a group of women, and it's called Unscripted. So it's like that stood out in my mind.
Anyway, I love that.
Yeah, no, just the being, not. I remember when I was doing nutrition, I got to the point where I just didn't want to tell people that they were bad or good or not to do this or do that, and it felt really out of alignment for me, not because I was out of integrity and didn't do things, but I felt like it was a weird feeling. It's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in that position anymore. I just want to share and inspire and help people and just be me. And when you come from that being, like, you don't have to be. I remember somebody told me once, that you don't have to do anything. You can just be and still be valuable. And I remember I went, really?
That's something that twists your head for a while, right? You're like, what? Is that possible? Because we're so busy proving, doing, making, forcing, all those really hard things, when truly life doesn't need to be hard at all.
No.
And it's not when we're really being
present. When you're present, you flow. It's flow. It's not, like you were saying, it's not that forcing that outcome. It's like, and when you're in that icky energy, it just feels so draining. It drains you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the actual being, and I love, because when we talk about that, it feels weird.
Yeah.
Because we're always driven to be doing something.
Yeah.
And to be able to, one of the things that you mentioned that it's coming back to me now is when you said you were in the health and you didn't like to tell people what to do, what not to do. One of the things that I've learned, and I've done a lot of transformation in the last year, internal transformation, and come the beginning of this year, I said, this is my gift. I now want to share with others and let them know the value of who they are. because the transformation has been so profound for me, what I love and how I've transformed myself and then helped to transform my clients and support them the most is absolutely nothing is punitive. And what I mean by that is when we talk and we work coaching wise, I'm not there to badger them. I'm not there to say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, because who wants that? Nobody, right? That's quote punishment. And I grew up with that as like, forget it. We're our own worst critics. So when they learn that, it's like, okay, so what worked? What didn't work? And then what can you do different?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they realize that, it's like, oh gosh, she's not going to give me, she's not going to punish me for not doing my action items, whatever it may be. It's like you declared something, you didn't do it. Okay, so what worked? Great, let's celebrate that. What got in the way? All right, so what are you going to do now? Because if we don't know that, and I used to be a big avoider, I didn't want to know any of that. Well, then we're stuck in a loop. We can't make a change.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're forced to look at what did work, let's celebrate that and then move forward. So it's really those three questions. And that's one of the things that I like to reflect with a lot of people, saying, okay, at the end of the day, what worked? What didn't work? What can I do different? All right, so let's make those changes.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Just so I can practice.
The other thing you mentioned at the very beginning of the call, Lisa, was it's not always new information.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, it's very much common sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of making it common practice.
And it's a matter of connecting it too. Like you hear it so many different times, but if somebody says it one way, it's like, oh, it connects.
Yes. Yeah. Making it common practice. It's like I always say, what one thing that you learned out of these 3 days? What is that one thing that you can commit to? And that's another word. What are you going to commit to? Not just what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
When we say commit, it does something to our subconscious and it anchors it. It says, what are you going to commit to for the next 30 days? It's like a 30-day challenge. That's all it takes.
Yes. So, I did your 7-day Facebook Live challenge.
I know it. That was amazing. How did you feel after that?
It was good. I really gained some momentum. And then I had that launch and then I just went, I've got to hibernate for a while. But no, it was fun. It was really fun. Yeah, it was.
And we can always see, because I did the same. I did a 14-day and then a 29-day. And I actually recently reviewed all of my videos. It was a video series of transformation. For the first time, I went through every single one and I saw how I morphed and I got more and more comfortable. It was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't realize it because sometimes it's hard for us to see who we are.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been such great information. I know that the listeners, viewers are going to get a lot of takeaways, but what I want to know from you is what kind of fun, exciting things do you have coming up?
Fun, exciting things. Okay. So in 3 weeks, I go back to Singapore, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Before that, next week, I just booked a talk with a realtor. With a real estate company, because they are looking to re-energize their team.
Nice.
So I do a lot of communication training. It's like the different ways in which people communicate, so you know how to put together high performance teams and work well together, minimize the conflict. And I also have travels to New York coming up. In June and July, doing a lot of facilitation and workshops, which is what I love to do.
That's great. Oh, that's awesome. So you've got travel and you're booked, and that's amazing. That's like, it feels good, right? And then there's space in between. So
yeah, well, the space in between, because what I do is I have individual coaches or clients that I work with on a weekly basis as well. Yeah. So it gives me a really good variety.
Yeah, I love variety. Yeah. So if people want to find out more about you, where would they go?
they can go to pamreyes.com.
Okay, perfect.
I also, reach out on Facebook, and I love to do complimentary vision calls, strategy sessions to really prime the pump. If you've been going, I don't even know what my vision is for my life.
Yeah.
Let's have a phone conversation.
Yeah.
Email me, Pam@pamreyes.com.
Okay, perfect. And we can put that in. I'll edit the video and we can put that in the top so people can just actually click on your website and then we'll put your email in there too. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being my guest and sharing all of your wisdom. You have so much, and we could talk forever, but
I know, huh? Maybe we can make this a regular then.
I know, it's so fun. It's so much fun. And I want to thank the viewers. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll be back again with another guest on Friday at noon Pacific time. So we are here every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, and every Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So I'll see you next Friday. And please, if you have any questions for Pam, put them down below in the comments. Don't be shy. And let us know where you're from. Let us know what the weather's like. And let us know what questions you have. And if there's other topics that you want to hear about, let me know. And tag us in the post so we can make sure to come back and address it. All right. Well, we will see you next time. And thank you again so much, Pam, for being here. Okay.
Bye.